So this is going to be a bit of a long one. I'm going to skip on some of the things that I covered in my previous videos, but let's delve in. Reap the Flesh Harvest. Prince Ulbrecht promises salvation to his people seeking a better future, but at what cost? Our next major update, Flesh Harvest, is seething in anticipation of release. This update introduces a new main quest, an overhaul to the Cycle of Strife, new legendary gems, updates to familiars, and more. So this content update will take place between September 24th and September 25th, obviously depending on what server that you're on. And there's a few things that I will skip, as I said, because there's some things that I've covered in previous videos. So in the codex for this, we've got Flesh Harvest main quest in the Charvel Zone, new legendary gems, Cycle of Strife Reborn, familiar improvements, plot your war games, Festival of the Ancient Moon, Battlepass 44, Eyeless Omens, Skyborn Scourge, Phantom Market, play music for the Phantom Market, returning events, future updates, and bug fixes. So Flesh Harvest main quest in the Charvel Wilds. In the new Flesh Harvest main quest, you'll investigate the Wicker Fields, the spiritual centre and breadbasket of Charvel as you search for Ulbrecht and his hive. As you traverse the corrupted fields, you'll confront ghastly undead, frenzied fae and hideous Sharborn among the festering grassland, all while learning of the resentment continuously growing within the Einstig peasantry and the promises of freedom Ulbrecht has made to his followers. You'll team up with your allies as you prepare to confront Ulbrecht and his army of followers and monsters within the Boil of Creation, a massive Sharborn hive. Within, you'll witness the beginning of Ulbrecht's horrifying plans to transform Sanctuary into his image and the sacrifices he's made to achieve his dreams. So with Charvel, you'll soon be able to complete bounties as well in this zone. So I'm super excited for that. And you can replay past quests by accessing the Adventurer's Chronicle in Kane's workshop. So you can receive bounties from the Flesh Harvest from September 25th to October 8th. And yeah, there's a promo code here for you guys, which I'll bring up on the screen now. So if you enter the code Flesh Harvest, you can collect your first offering from this major update, which will be 1 legendary crest, 2 legendary items, 3 aquamarine and 3 sapphire. Obviously, information in this article is subject to change. Next, we have the new legendary gems, which I'm not going to talk through because I've already gone through this. Same with the changes to Cycle of Strife. This is something that I've already covered in the previous video, and there's not really any new information in that compared to what we already know. So we have the new Shadow Cloaks. The clan level cap has been raised, allowing your clan to rise beyond previous heights. By completing activities like Vault Chest, Contracts, Shadow War, and the new Invasion of the Immortal Realm, your clan will steadily gain new experience. Tasks have also been simplified to make leveling easier. For instance, we've removed the Rite of Exile as a clan focus option, as it was too unpredictable. Similarly, contract tasks were reduced to match Vault Chest levels, which now requires fewer players while granting better rewards. And obviously we have the new Shadow Cloaks coming, which we're all excited for. Akiba's Ordeal, we're adding a new way to earn marks for Shadow Clans. During the Cycle of Strife, slay your way through Akiba's Ordeal. I did touch on this previously as well. This is a 4-player Shadow Clan exclusive fight where you'll need to strike down 2 bosses to emerge triumphant. This will reward marks, strengthening the Shadow Clan during the Cycle of Strife. Faster shadow assemblies are also coming into place. Clan management optimizations. We've made several updates to the clan management system to help streamline how it's organized and to make it easier to tactically communicate and organize your clan as a leader. Clan officers often lack easy access to their individual clan members' combat power, resonance, and participation for planning around Shadow Wars, Vigil of Blades, and Rite of Exile. We've now added an export member data tool, which includes combat rating, combat resonance, attributes, and combat power stats. These tools were functionally inspired by similar systems found in World of Warcraft. To help see who performed member changes within your clan, there's now a history list to keep record of members joining, leaving, kicked, and appointed to a position. It can be difficult to notify shadows who fail to meet rank requirements, so we've added a bulk mail option, so you can notify a large amount of members at once. This means that they can specifically message all of the members that are maybe X shadow rank, for example. There is now a filtering and sorting option by level and resonance to make going through a clan member list easier and less tedious to navigate. When participating in the Rite of Exile, sometimes your warriors don't show up when called upon. You can now substitute players from the registered pool and swap in active members if someone else misses the match, which is a huge positive change there. Warband updates. So this I've been quite interested to see. It is now much easier to find higher quality remnants when running Purge the Depths. Warband parties now only require 4 players to receive the highest quality of remnant drops. Remnants now drop in Warband Reliquary raids and will also only require 4 players to achieve the highest quality drops. Remnants can still be found with fewer members, but the chance diminishes with each player you take below 4. When a set of remnants drops in a Reliquary raid, they'll be all for one specific role and anyone from the warband can pick them up. The rewards are not character specific. Remnants can only drop within the first 5 clears of each reset. So the same as normal. Same with the demonic remains. The Reliquary remnants will drop twice a week. So in your Monday raids and your Thursday raids, or whenever you run your raids after the resets. The warband rooms have been removed to streamline the system further. Each of you can directly select the specific role they want to have active and can individually select the bonus stats that are active dependent on other warband members' choices. The warband leader will still determine the assignment of remnants to each role. Okay, so that's quite interesting. Obviously, we've got the customize your clan banner, which is going to be awesome for the dark clans. And it's really nice that they've actually changed that and added that. So each clan has their own distinct pact of honour or lack thereof to rally behind. Clan leaders can now select a distinctive banner, emblem and background colour to help you stand out among the fray. Select from over 30 emblem options, so that's a good amount of options there, and proudly distinguish your clan for the battles to come. Vault updates. Cheat, Death and Saviour will now reset their cooldowns upon exiting the Vault. The Vault now has a chance to spawn elite and rare monsters, with the Immortals Vault rank increasing the amount spawn per rank. There is now also a chance for Hidden Passage to appear at the beginning of the first floor. This portal requires all players within the vault to channel it and immediately skip players to the 4th floor, alerting the Immortals to their presence shortly after. If you choose to activate the Hidden Passage, you will earn all the chest rewards from the first 3 floors without having to clear them. However, if you choose to open a chest on the 1st floor, the Hidden Passage will crumble and become impassable. If you use the Hidden Passage, beware, for the Vault Guardian will increase in strength. Shadows that wait in queue for extended period of time without finding a full party will now have the option to enter without a full party. Enemies within the vault will remain at their normal power and the alarm can still be triggered. Additionally, hilts rewarded when Immortals defend the vault has been increased from 200 to 350 for wins and 150 to 200 for losses. So that's a really huge improvement on vault, and I think it's really positive, especially being able to skip all the levels but still actually gaining the chest rewards. I think that's great. It'll be interesting to see if it still ticks the task for opening vault chests. That's something I may test in a video and see what actually happens with that. Familiar improvements. Your most stalwart companion is receiving a whole set of improvements. Conversion changes. After converting a familiar, you can decide whether to keep one of the material familiars or the conversion result. This should reduce the risk of losing more powerful familiars through converting. This applies to the aberrant conversion using conversion stones. Conversion output. There has been a slight change to what passive aberrant familiars receive when converting. To better match actual player demand, aberrant familiars will more often receive 2 or fewer rare passive skills. If you're not using conversion stones during aberrant conversion, if you have a familiar with only 1 legendary skill, the minimum quality of skills for the newly converted familiar will be adjusted to 6 magic skills. So that's going to be a big improvement to familiars as well. Improved familiar trading rules. The familiar shop will now display the next time the wares refresh, making it a bit easier to plan. So they mentioned that in the previous update as well. Now this is something that wasn't mentioned in the update, and this is war games. In times of peace, a warrior's mind is a blade unhoned, losing its edge, grown rusty from rain and misuse. But you cannot wait for the times of conflict to become ready for the next battle. The most fearsome become so because they never stop thinking of their next foe. Wargames is a new system that allows you to create a custom PvP lobby at any time. It launches with 3 modes to hone your skills: Destruction's Call, Slayer and Tower War. Wargame lobbies will be cross-server, allowing you to join matches with fellow wanderers you typically wouldn't get to duel against. Each mode will have specific settings that can be adjusted, including point or kill requirements, time limits, flag and enemy spawns. Destruction's Call, Capture the Flag, will feature the same base gameplay you've become used to in Ancient's Cradle. Crush your enemies and capture flags to earn points. Destruction's Call Slayer is a team deathmatch mode where only the objective is to kill the enemy team. Tower War will be the same gameplay you've known, capture and hold effigies to earn points. So this looks really fun, and you can go in with teams of up to 12 players, so you can do 12v12. or the tower wall supports 8v8. A total of 40 players can be within a single lobby, and any additional players will be placed on the spectator list, only able to watch the games. To begin a wargame, travel to the wargame tables on the Immortal Overlook in Westmarch near to the Battleground Captain, or join or create your own wargames lobby. Wargames will have the Strife debuff active, which reduces bonuses from legendary gems and other sources of power when playing in PvP, but does not have normalised fair PvP settings. This is the beginning of what we hope the system will be, so we'll keep an eye out for your feedback to help shape wargames in the future. So that looks really positive. A lot of people enjoy PvP, and this is definitely going to be something that you can do that's going to be fun with your clan and with friends cross-server. I have friends on different servers, so this is a way that you can play together that's a little bit different to normal. Festival of the Ancient Moon. The denizens of Sanctuary mark their calendars to bask in the celestial celebrations that dot the midnight sky. Raise your goblet and revel in the frivolities that so rarely arise in these maligned lands. From October 1st to October 15th at 3 AM local server time, complete daily and weekly tasks to earn points towards bountiful rewards. So this is going to be similar, or the replacement for the current one, which obviously replaced the event center, and that will have those chests, it will have gems, etc. Battlepass 44, Eyeless Omens. Scoop the eyes from your skull and slash into your skin. Pain will guide you further than sight. That is why so few have the courage to journey beyond their mortal lives into immortal glory. The Season 44 Battle Pass sidles its way into Sanctuary on September 25th at 3 AM local server time, containing a Battle Pass with 40 ranks worth of rewards, such as crests, hilts, legendary gems, and more. Don't know how I feel about the look of this cosmetic for Battle Pass. I'm hoping that we'll see better ones in the future. At least it looks a little bit different to some of the previous ones with regards to colour. But the colour also looks similar to the most recent one that we've had. So a little bit disappointing with that one. Skyborn Scourge Phantom Market. Imbibe the burning light that drips from the heavens and soar higher than mortality itself. From September 28th at 3 AM till October 22nd at 3 AM server time, the latest Phantom Market brings godly threads to weave your adventure in. This Phantom Market also contains a limited time Valkyrie who accompanies you on your journey and plays special effects on certain conditions, on death, while idle, and when following you. Okay, I'm really excited to see this Phantom Market. I have nothing else to say about that other than I am really excited for it. Play music from the Phantom Market. A bard's music may delight the crowd, but only for the time its mellifluous tones drift upon the wind. Now you can summon this ability anytime you please. Enjoy background music from previous Phantom Market cosmetics while in your inventory. Experience music changes when switching between badges, as each one has its own theme. You can also listen to other players' selected badge music when viewing their profile if they have it enabled. So this is actually active for a couple of the previous cosmetics. So I'm excited to actually see that as well. But a few people, if you click on their character, it will play a different tune to the normal background music for Diablo. But obviously, it depends if you're someone that actually listens to the game with sound on. A lot of people don't have the sound on. So we have some balance changes coming into game, which I am very excited for because PvP has been a huge mess this season. So let's have a look. The changes will be effective everywhere in Diablo Immortal. Barbarian, follow field whirlwind. Whirlwind now consumes life instead of energy, allowing you to maintain your whirlwind as long as blood still flows in your veins. Whirlwind also deals 6% increased damage with each consecutive hit up to a maximum of 36%. Blood Knight, Lost Companions. The reduced damage from multiple spears hitting the same enemy is now less severe. Previously, extra spears did only 50% damage, but now they'll deal 75% damage. Soul Sensor. Skewer also shatters the enemy's armor, increasing their damage taken by 8% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 16%. Abomination base skill. Primary attack and non-channeled skill anger generation is increased by 100%. Channeled skills now generate 1 anger every 2 energy consumed. Crusader, Crown of Dissipation. Consecrate now empowers you, leaving behind a holy trail that damages enemies and reduces the damage they deal by 25%. Objugation. Judgment now grants you a cascading aura that reduces enemies' movement speed by 30% and increases the damage they take by 25%. Enemies within the aura that suffer a knockback effect are struck by a holy light that stuns them for 2 seconds. Zaynula's Last Hymn. Consecration also reduces enemy movement speed by 30% and prevents them from using dash skills for 2 seconds. Cannot occur more often than once every 6 seconds to the same enemy. Cavalier's Courtwear. During Quarter now knocks enemies airborne when you trample them. While mounted, you are immune to knockback effects and can't be dismounted by total loss of control effects. Additionally, you take 45% reduced damage from skills, but also deal 45% reduced damage with skills while mounted. Harmonic Collide cannot trigger if enemies are further than 10 yards away. Demon Hunter Frozen Guardian's Sight. Sentry now empowered with frost, damaging and stacking a chill on enemies that freeze them for 2 seconds at full stack. Sentry also takes 75% reduced damage from players. Steadiest Breath. Explosion damage is increased by 50% to 75% for subsequent hits. Legless of the Inevitable Inferno. Immolation. Traps can now overlap and enemies will take damage from each trap individually. Okay, all of these classes are getting buffs when I actually feel most of them do not need buffs. Druid, the Yawning Maw. Fire Bear takes 50% reduced damage from players. Bargeist Beacon. Firewalls take 50% reduced damage from players. Flesh is Fertile. Thorn Armor is now toggled on or off, and while it consumes primal power to grant increased attack speed to all nearby allies and continuously damage nearby enemies, dealing increased damage from subsequent hits up to 25% increased damage. Cedarkin, cooldown increased to 15 seconds. Wilderbrute, cooldown increased to 9 seconds. Monk, Driven Thunder Cyclone Strike is now channeled, causing you to run forward, spinning a Staff of Storms to damage enemies that increase by 8% with each subsequent hit up to maximum of 48%. While channeling, you are immune to knockback effects. Necromancer Tenthorn Corpse Lance is now consumes nearby corpses to launch lances at target locations. Soul Levy, Bone Spirits now unleashes a wave of spirits that damage and fear enemies, consuming corpses beforehand. That will increase the number of waves. God, this goes on for ages. Tempest, Gust Gift, Windwalk. Windwalk now empowers you, during which your primary attacks grant you a shield that absorbs damage and grants immunity to knockback effects. Shield value equals 80% of your damage. Zyda, Dooth, Rolling Surf now empowers your edges, granting you temporary immunity to total loss of control and knockback while causing you and your Zephyr's primary attacks to become sweeping sword slashes that deal increased damage with each consecutive hit. 5% increased primary attack damage up to maximum 50. Harmonious Castile, Squall now makes you untargetable and causes you and your Zephyrs to dash forward, damaging enemies in your path. Additionally, each active Zephyr that dashes with you will increase your primary attack speed by 15% for 1.5 seconds, up to a maximum of 45%. Wizard, Veil of Dross Ice Crystal. Ice Crystal refractions now extend the duration of Ice Crystal by 0.5 seconds. Cannot occur more often than once every second. Searing Judgment, Disintegrate. Disintegrate now channels fire, applying a burn that stacks up to 5 times. At 5 stacks, the burn is consumed, dealing additional damage. While channeling, you are immune to knockback effects. Entropic Edge, Disintegrate. Disintegrate damage is increased by 2.5% for every yard between you and the enemy, up to a maximum of 20%. So those are some interesting changes there. I'm not that impressed with the wizard ones. I feel like a lot of the classes that are getting buffs do not need it, especially in PvP. So we'll see how much of a shit show the battleground is once that all comes into game. Next up, we have feature updates, matchmaking optimizations. Thanks to your feedback, we are updating our matchmaking and team distribution system logic, which should improve your matchmaking in a few significant ways. This improved matchmaking applies across multiple modes, including duo queue. Nothing is needed on your end, matchmake as usual, and the updated system will take care of the rest. In addition to balancing overall combat power, matchmaking now takes into account class distribution with each team, which is something we've asked for a long time. We know how frustrating it can feel when one team has too many barbarians or crusaders, making battles feel uneven. With this update, the matchmaking system should ensure melee-heavy classes are more evenly spread out between both teams, creating more balanced and strategic experience for everyone. This is our attempt at ensuring every match feels better, test of teamwork and strategy, not just the luck of the draw in matchmaking, which is what it has seemed for a while. Blood Knight Abomination updates. Abomination is receiving a few tweaks to make it more impactful, providing more uptime and flexibility in build choices. Primary attack speed and base skill anger generation has been increased by 100%. Channel skills will now generate 1 anger per 2 energy spent while channeling the skill, in addition to base 3 anger on initial cast. I'm pretty sure it already said that. Codex activity changes. The activity section of the Codex will now have a drop-down menu to filter activities by weekly and daily tasks. Dungeons are now condensed into a single item that has a pop-up for dungeon selection. There will also be a new item that shows you the limits and displays the party bonus for normal gems. Previously, this was only visible as your own buff. Terror Rift party optimization. When running Terror Rifts in a full party, we are adding the option for a quick join that automatically connects other players together. Using this function will make new entry in the Party Finder tab, making it easier to find a group. We'll make a new entry into the Party Finder tab, making it easier to find a group for Terror Rifts regardless of whether you use Party Finder or immediately find one at the entry spot. Quality of life social updates. Incoming direct messages from friends will now be consolidated and harder to miss, because we've had an issue with this for a little while. Additionally, the block list has been expanded past the previous cap of 100 players. Player class information has been added to player profile and raid management's user interface. The chat system now offers some prompts after hand-picked conditions. For instance, if your inventory is full and you open a chat, there'll be a suggestion to tell other players that you're returning to town. We've changed the behaviour of some red dots to be more relevant to you in efforts to reduce the clutter in your menu. We've also fixed the following issue. Fix an issue where an error would occur when trying to view the profile of a friend that from a different server cluster. Fix an issue where party voice transcription wouldn't turn off. Fix an issue where notification couldn't be dismissed after messaging a friend. Team system improvements. We've introduced several quality of life fixes to make joining a party and communication smoother than ever. Teammate class display. So class information will now be shown in team panels. We have team application timeout. To avoid confusion, the previous request, team applications will now automatically expire after 30 minutes. Auto accept team invites and objectives. Previously, team objectives and auto accept settings were only tied to active recruitment. These settings are now persistent, meaning they'll remain active even outside of recruitment. This makes it easier for players to maintain team goals and seamlessly join teams without having to repeatedly reactivate recruitment. So that's obviously like dungeons and stuff, so that you're not having to re-queue, I'm guessing. Bug fixes. Fix the issue where the chat button in the dungeon interface wouldn't properly disappear during the play. Fix the issue where switching to another tab after viewing recruitment tab would sometimes leave the information displayed. Replay random dungeon feature. If you enter a random dungeon with a party of 1 to 3 players, you'll be able to directly replay another random dungeon once the dungeon is complete. Dungeon improvements. We've made changes to several specific dungeons. Kikura's Rapids removed the 4-second delay at the start of the dungeon and adjusted time within the dungeon overall so it should run more smoothly. Pit of Anguish fixed multiple bugs reported by the community. Silent Monastery, the teleport mechanic will no longer trigger early when the boss's health depletes quickly. Dread Reaver removes the additional sailor dialogue requirements after killing the captain, shortened unnecessary performance sequels. Tristram Cathedral reduced the butcher's invincibility time when he spawns. General flow improvements. Reduce the amount of clicks needed to skip dialogue and cut scenes. Challenge Dungeon affix optimization. We're changing some of the existing modifiers in challenge dungeons. Sacrificial power now has the following conditions. Health loss and cooldown reduction are proportionally reduced on your health. For every 25% of health loss and cooldown reduction are reduced by 33%. I'll bring this up on the screen so you can read through that yourself. Additionally, challenges, plunders, chests will spawn after scene changes in dungeons where this is applicable. Explosive reaction will deal damage to a maximum 2 times simultaneously to a player. Explosive reaction will not damage summons, and the effects will now be a red circle to help visibility. New challenge dungeon affix, erratic assault. Similar to greed spoils, skip directly to the final dungeon boss and continue through up to 3 additional erratic assault portals to face additional bosses. Boss difficulty will increase as you go through the dungeon. This has a chance to appear in a normal dungeon, and in challenge dungeon it will appear alongside another affix. Build recommendation system changes. 3 main feature updates are coming to the build recommendation system, which were all done to help any player refine exactly what they were looking for in their class, as well as experiment with items they are yet to hunt down. First off, you'll now be able to save your unique builds, give them unique names and descriptions when uploading them to the database to share with other adventurers. You'll also be able to track how many players find them useful. If you ever wanted to share builds out to friends, this is for you. Secondly, you can now simply try on a build that is recommended on the system. You can select a build from the available offerings and try out the build in test room before settling on it. Even before you collect the legendary items the build requires, you'll be able to see whether this is right for you or not. So that's quite a good idea, being able to test things before you've actually farmed them. Thirdly, you'll be able to track the items, equipment and gems needed for specific builds. This should help you know when you've collected items you need for your intended build. New cursed shrines. 2 mysterious cursed shrines have appeared across the wilds, warping nearby monsters with their sinister power. Those who dare to awaken them will face deadlier foes and claim greater rewards. So we've got 3 shrines. We've got elite, split and shared traits, and I'll bring the information for that up on the screen so you can read through that yourself. And we've got Halikri raid drop changes. Items that drop from Halikri raids are now less likely to drop near portals, so that we're not having to accidentally click the portal instead of actually clicking the item. And Hero's Journey. We hope that you've readied your blade adventure. Chapter 5 and 6 of Hero's Journey are now available. Complete both to earn rewards such as Legendary Crest and the Inkwell Portal. And lastly, we'll have some more bug fixes with this update. So this was a little bit of a meaty update and meaty video. I hope you found this information useful. Let me know what you're most excited for. I'm definitely interested to see that new Phantom market, as always. Definitely interested for the war games and also Charvel Wilds being expanded on. For now, that's it from me for this video. If you enjoy my content, please consider becoming a channel member to support me further. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Official Diablo Partner.